just been made and it's been in the fridge for around about half an hour or so. So if we just unwrap this, what we'll do to make it easier is we'll take just half of this dough for now, and we can roll it in two halves. Keep the other part wrapped up to one side, make sure that it doesn't dry out. So what we've got here is just some flour that we'll just sprinkle some over the surface, just so that we're not going to stick to the surface. And with the pasta, we want to just squash it down with our hands into an oval shape, so this starts to form the shape that we're hoping to get as we roll. So we can see it's around about 1 centimetre thick, maybe slightly thicker, and it's kind of an oval shape. So with the pasta machine set on 0, what we can do is we can start to feed it through, and as we feed it through, just pull it through on this side, and then what we want to do is to take one end and fold it towards the centre, the other end towards the centre as well, and then fold it in half and give that a little bit of a squish down. So if you think we've just taken it through the machine in that direction, what we're going to do is we're now going to turn it 90 degrees and pass it through, again still on 0. And what this does is this brings the pasta together, and as well it begins to shape it into the shape that we're looking to get as our pasta sheet. So again, we'll fold it towards the centre, we'll fold this end towards the centre, and we'll fold it over in half. A little bit of a squash down, and again we'll turn it 90 degrees and pass it through, still staying on 0 as the thickness. And it's now from here that we can keep passing it through. And we'll pass it through each level, if you like, each thickness, just a couple of times. Now what we can do is we can move this to 1, so it brings the rollers slightly closer together and makes it a bit thinner. And at this point here, as you're passing it through, what you'll feel is that the surface of the pasta is much smoother, and you can really see that it's actually starting to look as we'd expect it to look. So we'll just pop this onto number 2. So again, we've gone just that little bit thinner. We'll go on to number 3. And as well as you're doing this, you always want to make sure that you're not skipping any of the thicknesses, because if you were to jump straight from number 2 to say number 4 or number 5, then you'll find that it's too much of a jump, and the pasta might get clogged in the machine. What we're going to do is we're just going to put a little extra flour, just rub it across just to make sure that we don't stick at all. Pass it through. One more time on number 3. Go to number 4. Again, still on number 4 here. And as you get to the thinner settings, so here on number 5, we get to the point where it's less important to pass it through the machine a couple of times. So what we'll probably do is we'll go for number 5. We'll change it to number 6. And we can see now that it's really started to stretch out. It's a lot thinner. The sheet's a lot longer than it was to start off with. And then we've got our sheet, which is done to number 6, which is a really good thickness for the pasta that we're going to be making. So in the videos we've got coming up, we've got some lasagna, we've got some tagliatelle, some agnotti, and some tortellini as well. So going up to number 6 on the machine gives us a really good thinness of the pasta. And what we need to do now, in order to keep this so that it doesn't dry out too much, we can just fold it up, and if we've got a towel, we can just put a towel over it whilst we're prepping for the next bit, and that'll keep the pasta from drying out too soon at this stage.